Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Did I put that Q&A Sunday up there? Oh, crap. Did I do that? Oh, I did. If not, I have to put it up there later. Can't remember if I did. Did I put that thumbnail up there? Nope, I didn't. All right. Well, I'll put it up there later. All right. Wait for people to get up in here. What's up, Aaron? What's going on? Welcome. Here is where you get the real. You've been dead all your life. Can't figure out why you're not getting ahead. Wonder what's causing you to live paycheck to paycheck. Here's where you get the answer that nobody else on YouTube will tell you. Nobody else will tell you. And it's all mathematically backed up. All right. So this is the channel. When you want the answers, you come to this place this is the place where you will be told about your finances, but in a way that will never, ever break the laws of mathematics. Okay. Any response you get from SMD will always go according to the laws of mathematics. Here in SMD, we don't break the laws of mathematics when it comes to money, ever. You don't ever do that. Breaking the laws of mathematics doesn't make sense. CENTS. Always remember that. Breaking the laws of mathematics doesn't make sense. CENTS. If you just take that statement, put it in your wallet, just carry it with you everywhere. Okay. So every time you sit down and get ready to finance a car, you pull out that statement and say, hey, wait a minute. Breaking the laws of mathematics doesn't make sense. And you're like, should I finance a car? According to that statement, the answer is no. And then you just leave. You get it? Okay. All right. Keeping your student loans your entire life? Yeah. You pull out that statement. Breaking the laws of mathematics doesn't make sense. Would it be a good idea to go to college for 4 years, but keep my student loans for 20? Nope. According to that statement, it doesn't. Exactly. This is the channel. Welcome. This is the channel where every single video you go through, it will be the constant message all the way through. Never flip-flopping, never changing. Always the same. Why? Because math never changes. That's why. I'm just here to give you guys the answers, okay? This is the channel that's going to tell you what millions of other channels on YouTube. No other channel on YouTube is going to tell you like SMD tells you. I promise you. There is no other channel. You can find one. Go try and look for one. You can look as long as you wish. You'll never find one. This is what makes it a financial superpower. That's what everything I'm telling you, I'm saying is true. Don't just say, oh, he's just talking shit and blah, blah, blah. Go look. You wouldn't check this out. If you've been in debt all your life, you wouldn't even know what to type in to even look. You're probably thinking, what? Yeah. I'm going to say it to you one more time. If you've been in debt all your life, you wouldn't even know what to type in Google to look for what. You wouldn't even know. What am I going to type in Google? Google's going like, I don't know. Nobody ever types that question. The majority of people don't type the question, so Google's not even going to have the answer for you. When the majority Google something about finances, it's just you guys just sharing information amongst each other. That's a bunch of you guys information sprinkled in there with people that know. Here is where you understand how to answer the right questions. Just use math. That's it. That's nothing special. Today is the day where you guys get to ask me questions, man. If you want to, maybe you don't know you're an unconscious slave because there's two types. Okay, you guys always hear me talk about slaves, right? Now, first, I want you guys to understand where I found the word slave. I found that the word slave in the Bible. That's where I found it. I'm not even religious. I'm just telling you where I found it. Under Proverbs 22:7, it says, the borrower is slave to the lender. So that's where I found it. And to me, as I read it, if I had a mortgage, that means the bank is the lender and I'm the slave. That just makes sense to me. That's where I got it. Now, if you want to understand what's causing you to be a slave, I can tell you. And if you want to stop being a slave, I can show you. I can tell you and show you everything I'm saying. I can prove I'm never wrong, mathematically, personal finance speaking. Today's your day. What's up, Omanique, Quentin, Urban Bros? What's going on? I'm serious. It's a whole different world. Instead of hearing the word slave and getting upset about it, you got to sit back and got to ask yourself, am I a slave? According to Proverbs 22:7, yeah, that's pretty much. I'm a slave. Yeah. The bank lend me the money for this house. Yep. And I'm the borrower. Yep. That says the borrower is a slave to the lender. Yeah, that's me. And if you're getting upset at that word, you got to say to yourself, well, if it's true, why am I upset? That's another question to ask yourself. Why are you upset if it's true? Why? I don't get it. If you want to stop being a slave, man, hey, SMD is the truth. I want you to understand that. That is the truth. Do you hear my voice? When you listen to my voice, does it sound like I'm faking it? Does it sound like I'm just trying to get your money? Does it sound like that? Or does it sound like I know I'm right and I'm not ever wrong? Does it sound like that? If you believe you're a homeowner with a 30-year mortgage, you're an unconscious slave. You're saying something that's not mathematically true. You're saying something that's not mathematically true. All you have to do is open your calculator up, put in your mortgage payment minus your mortgage balance, and hit equal. That's all you got to do is look and clearly see that you're not a homeowner. That's a large negative number. That's clearly not mathematically true. But on the flip side, I want you guys to understand something too. It must be that way. Millions of people must believe they're homeowners with 30-year mortgages. They also must believe it takes 30 years to pay off a house, one house. They must believe that. So I'm not against mortgages. That's in order for the housing market to exist, the majority must believe that. So no, I'm not against mortgages for people that want mortgages. And if your student loans are older than your mortgage, you are the ultimate slave. I'm going to say that one more time. If your student loans are older than your mortgage, you are the ultimate slave. Because the bank knows if you haven't paid off your student loans, you sure in the fuck ain't paying off a house. Not even close. But you are the only one that don't know that. But if you never broke the laws of mathematics, you would know that. You would know that it is 100% impossible to buy a house while having student loans. That's impossible according to the laws of mathematics. But since you don't understand the laws of mathematics or don't believe they exist, you get financially abused due to your own fault. It's your fault. It's nobody else's fault but yours. They taught us this shit in grade school. Believe that. The number chart and all that. Hey, zeros in the middle. On the right is positive. On the left is negative. Sure is. Yeah, they taught me that in grade school. Sure did. But for some reason, as I got older, I forgot about zero on the left side. Somewhere in my life, it vanished. You know where it vanished? At 18, as soon as I start getting into credit, it immediately removed zero and negative numbers. Immediately gone. I never ever pronounced those numbers ever again for the rest of my adult life. Zero, negative one. Why would I ever say it? Why would I ever talk about them? Why? Fucking absolutely brilliant. I respect the system. Believe that. The system has my 100% respect. Believe that. Understand taxes. I understand why tax evasion is what it is. I understand it all. I get it. Totally get it. Got it. Because this wasn't here, the whole thing wouldn't work. Oh, got it. That's why you can go to prison. Okay, got it. And we know what's one thing about tax evasion. Slaves don't really understand what they're saying in that statement. Tax evasion. When you purposely are trying to avoid paying taxes, purposely, you're purposely doing it. See, there's a difference. There's a difference between accidentally doing it and purposely doing it. What unconscious slaves, this is your downfall, unconscious slaves. You don't trust math and you don't know you don't trust math. So instead of looking at yourself, you start to believe taxes are the reason that's the reason why you're not getting ahead. No, it's not. No, they're not. Here, let me show you in a way so you can understand what I mean, because when you're in debt, you can't see it. I'm here to give you a look to the other side. Find out what your yearly taxes are on the house that you're paying a mortgage on, okay? Find out what your yearly taxes are. Now imagine your life with absolutely no mortgage payment. You have no mortgage payment now. None, zero. Are the taxes really expensive now? Are they expensive to you? If you had no mortgage payment and all you had was annual taxes on your property or your house, would taxes be expensive for you? No. So the problem is you, not the taxes. You get it? That's why I say there's absolutely no reason to be doing tax evasion. None, zero. There's a difference between accidental and on purpose. When you're purposely evading, buying shit, financing shit, hiding, trying to pretend to hide stuff in bank accounts, whatever you think you are, but you guys don't really understand. Everything you're doing for tax evasion is for money. Who else, listen, who else would risk the time in their life for money? Unconscious slaves risk the time in their life for money. That's the only people that would do it for money. So you got to get a hold. You're doing it since you're doing it for money. You got to get a hold of the money somewhere, because this is the only kind of money that you can use in the United States. U.S. currency. You got to get it from somewhere. That's what you're doing it for. You're not hard to follow. I promise you, you're not. You guys, what's so funny about people like unconscious slave? They believe the shit they see on TV. Hey man, we just create some shell companies and hide it here overseas and blah blah blah. They start to believe that shit on TV. No slaves. Everything starts with you, not what you see on TV. You. Here's where you'll get the truth. You want to get out of that? I mean, not out of that. I don't, because again, I respect the system. Get on the correct side of it. Let me make sure I'm saying it right. If you want to stop being a slave, step one, you must own yourself. Okay. That's step one. You must own yourself. You and you're probably thinking, what do you mean? Do I own myself? You want to see a list of your owners? Okay. Log into your Credit Karma. That's a list of all your owners. Those are all the people that own you. They all own a piece of you. So until you can own your first, you must in order for you to own something outside of yourself, you must own yourself first. That's step one. You can't own anything outside of yourself if you don't even own yourself. Log into your Credit Karma. That's your owner's ledger. That's the list of all the people that own you. Yeah, just check it out. Hey, see what they got. And if you got, hey, and check this out. So you slaves that are just stuck on this credit shit, all right? The only thing a credit score is for is to reward slaves for staying in debt. If you have a high credit score, you're just a high valued slave. You pay back the bank's money on time and they reward you with more debt. Okay. And if you're a low credit score, you're just a low value slave. You just don't pay back the bank's money on time and they're just going to punish you with a low credit. It's just that's how they rate their slaves. That's how they sell you. That's when they just mail your shit all over the place and get you to sign up for stuff. They just sell it. It's a business. You're not special. Just because you got a good credit score, you're not special. Half the people, half the people on the internet trying to sell you guys that shit, they're just selling you. They just selling you a dream because credit means nothing. Put it this way, I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm gonna say it's a tool. You don't need credit. Once you understand that, once you get on the correct side of the system, you'll clearly see that you don't need credit. Yeah, you can buy a car in cash. No, it won't be a bucket. Those are all the things that slaves say. You ever hear one of your friends say, "Oh man, if I buy a car in cash, it ain't gonna be a good car." They're just telling you that they're broke. That's what they're saying. Because they're saying they don't have enough money to get a decent car. That's what they're telling you. So since they believe that, the only way they believe they can get a nice car is what? Financing it. That's all part of the program. You slaves believe financing phones is normal. Why do you think they can charge what they charge for a cell phone? Do you really think it costs $1,000 to make a cell phone? Are you insane? They make millions of these things. You think each one of those costs $1,000? Not even close. You know why they can charge that? Because you guys finance some slaves. You think everybody that got a iPhone 12 Max, whatever, you think every one of those phones costs like $1,500 to make it? Are you insane? Even more for the people who finance them for you. They're making a oh my God, they're making a they're making a kid. If slaves knew the real cost of things, if you guys really knew the cost of things, man, it'd be I don't even want you know what? Honestly, I don't even want to know. I don't want to know that answer. I don't. I don't want to know it. From just the stuff I see now, since I'm outside the debt matrix, I don't want to know that answer because I will have been doing it for so long and I'd be like, damn, I could have been a yeah, you could have multimillionaire years ago. This is your chance. This is your chance to change it all. Change your life forever. Once you're out of the debt matrix, man, it's a different language. It's a whole different language. When you go back and start listening to these finance channels on YouTube, man, oh man. Mm, mm. Man, I'm telling you, man, I'm telling you. If you once you are out of the debt matrix and you go back and listen to the majority of these channels talking about student loans and money, all they're doing is just telling you their problems. That's all. Just comparing debt. They're telling you guys the wrong things. Oh man, none of it makes any mathematical sense. None, zero. Let me give you an example, okay? About about the laws of mathematics, okay? It's against the laws of mathematics. You cannot save for retirement while having student loans. That goes against the laws of mathematics. You can't do that. That's impossible. Do you understand? According to the laws of mathematics, if your student loans are if your student loans are your oldest debt, everything in your life is a mathematical illusion because that's impossible. Do you understand? That's according to the laws of mathematics. According to the laws of mathematics, if you have a student loans, you can't even buy a candy bar. Why not? You're in the negative. You can't buy anything. Everything in your life is financed. Everything. You want to stop living like that? It's all because of you. Nobody's holding you back. When all the unconscious slaves are telling you that something's holding you back, this person, that person, this rich person, that they don't want you to get ahead, that's a lie. That's all part of the program. That's just them. That's just unconscious slaves telling you what they've been told. Okay, that's it. Don't worry about that. It's a lot of noise out there. That's called slave splaining. When they start explaining to you it's okay to have student loan debt and it's such a low percentage rate, that's called slave splaining. They all say the same thing. If that was true, listen, if that was true, there would $1.7 trillion of student loan debt wouldn't exist because it couldn't exist. So whatever they're telling you about invest in other things instead of paying off your student loan debt, that is not true. If it was true, there wouldn't be $1.7 trillion of student loan debt. Do you understand? All you got to do is start with you. I'm going to give you guys the key for those of you that maybe you just don't believe it. Okay. I'm going to give you the key. All right. I want you to log into your Credit Karma or something like that, whatever thing you got monitoring your credit system, whatever, right? Grab that large negative number in there. Okay. Write it on a piece of paper. Make sure whenever you go into any financial advice channel room, I want you to keep this piece of paper with you. Whatever they're telling you to do, that piece of paper represents how much money you have to do it. Whatever you wrote on that piece of paper, that's how much money you have to do whatever they're telling you to do. Especially like retirement stuff, okay? Go into retirement, blah blah, credit, all that. Take that piece of paper with you. That's all you got to do. That's it. And when they're done with their spiel or whatever, you say, "All right, what do I do?" And then you say, "Oh, this is how much money I have to do it." Yeah, that's how much money. How you going? You tell me how you going to do it. If you still believe you can do it, you're an unconscious slave because you believe you have the money to do it, even though I just proved to you that you don't. Even though the laws of mathematics just prove to you that you don't. There's so many things that you guys don't know, and I'm just here to tell the ones that just want to wake up. Not even just tell you, I can show you. I can put it on paper and give you the arrow and say, you go this way. Once you're out, you'll see retirement, 401k accounts. They don't really exist. Pensions, the reverse IRAs or after whatever, all that stupid nonsense. It don't exist. It don't exist for slaves. Let me just put it that way. It exists, but it doesn't exist for slaves, for unconscious slaves. And you're probably wondering, what are you talking about? I'll tell you. I'll show you. I even show you. Because you probably log into your account, check it, say, "Oh man, I got that much money in there for retirement, blah blah blah." Right? I'll show you. Take your savings minus your debt. Like, no, put it this way. According to the laws of mathematics, it's impossible to contribute towards retirement if you have student loans. That's impossible. You cannot, according to the laws of mathematics, if you're in debt, you cannot contribute to anything because you have nothing. That's according to the laws of mathematics, not me, not SMD. This is something that's been here before I was alive. Math has been here and it'll be here well after I'm dead. This whole system has to work. So there need to be more people that understand how it works. And I'm here to help people come over to help other people because there's other people well beyond me. But they're not going to talk to you unless you know what I know. It's a whole different language. If you don't come over here speaking it, they're not going to talk to you. I can promise you this: the people that know, they don't want to talk to you unconscious slaves about money ever, because you guys make absolutely no sense, none, zero. Nothing you say makes sense, and the worst part about it is you don't even know it don't make sense, even when we prove it to you. If you don't want to be that person, if you don't want to be that person living paycheck to paycheck anymore, looking for advice, what you gonna do? Retire? What about retirement? Blah blah blah. And you're getting tired of being sold all that bullshit. This is the answer. Don't you notice why they always ask you that? This is why they always ask you, "Hey, do you know how much you're gonna need for retirement?" You don't know the answer. That's why they're selling it to you. They already know you don't know the answer. If you don't even know how much debt you're in, you most definitely don't know the answer. I promise you. If you don't know how much student loan debt you have, you definitely do not know that answer. So of course you're gonna think whatever the people. Oh, you think you need multi millions of dollars? No, you don't. None of that is true. That is not true. You need at least this much to survive in today's day and age. No, you don't. That's not. None of that is true. Who's telling you that information? Always consider the source when you hear stuff like that. 9 times out of 10, you're getting information from a person that has student loans just like you. It don't matter what they look like. It don't matter what they're dressed like. It don't matter what kind of car they drive. It don't matter where they live. It doesn't matter. Those are just slaves living in different areas. Nothing more than that. If you're tired of being fooled, of what you're seeing on social media, none of that is true. 95%, if not more, probably 98% of what you're seeing on social media is not true. That's slaves showing you a facade. They got mortgages and credit card payments and car payments just like you. Don't believe me? All you got to do is Google total car loan debt. Check it out. Just Google it. It's in the trillions. That's a lot of people. That's just like you. That's millions of people. They're not doing as good as you think they're doing. I promise you. And if this is you, you got to think to yourself, how does he know that? Because we can see you. Do you guys understand? Those of us outside the debt matrix, we can see you that you're clearly a slave. Do you understand that? You're probably thinking, how can you see us? Your phone is financed and you tell me it's financed. That's how I know you're a slave because only a slave would finance a cell phone. You know how deep in debt you got to be to finance a cell phone? You got to be deep in debt. I remember one time when as I was this is during the period I was waking up, okay? I remember one time I financed a iPhone because I was switching services or something, man. And they said, "Hey, the phone is this, and your contract is gonna be this, blah blah blah." When I got that first bill, that shit was unbelievable. I was like, "Where did all this come from?" That's you see all those taxes that you get on that first bill? That's for slaves that don't know that shit don't exist. That's a tax for I don't know. I'm a slave. And guess what? If you're financing it, you're gonna pay it because you in your brain you think you have no choice but to pay it. When I saw that, I said, "Hey, man, I'm taking this phone back." I thought that was wrong. I remember I couldn't figure. I didn't know why, but I just knew that was just like ridiculous. I was like, "Ah, nah," and I took the phone back. I said, "Well, is it?" Because they always say you get 14 days to use the phone or whatever, right? And then all of a sudden I bring it back. Oh yeah, there's a $50 restock fee. I was like, "What the?" It even cost me to test it out. I was like, "They are making so much money. They are not losing." And now that I'm out of the debt matrix, I was right. That was the feeling because when I saw those all those taxes on there, I just felt like something was wrong inside. That's why I took the phone back, right? I didn't know how to answer it at that time, but now that I'm on the other side, that's I don't know tax. Especially if I'm financing a phone, I really don't know. So they're gonna really tax it. And this is why they because this is another thing. Okay. When I was in the debt matrix, I didn't really get this at first, right? I paid for a particular type of service. This is what came in my package, but every time I got my phone bill, it was a different price. Even though even though I was using within the limits of my plan, it would always come back to a different price. You know why? Because that's I don't know tax. Only slaves pay for the different prices for the same service each and every month. That's slavery. That's you're a slave if you do that. I'm not talking about bills and water. I'm not talking about the things that keep you alive. I'm talking about shit that you wouldn't die without it. If you didn't have a cell phone, you wouldn't die, right? Okay, you would die without food. That's what I'm saying, right? Shelter, you would die. It's that's that I don't know. You obviously don't know because you financing a self. Let me tell you something, okay, slaves, and I'm here to help you. If you are financing a phone, they are financially abusing you, slaves. You are clearly unconscious. You are if you knew how much they cost them to make a phone and then you finance it for 15 plus hundred. Oh my God. Can you imagine the return on that? Oh, they are killing the game. Once you come on, you get out of the debt matrix, man. You come on this side of the game, you like, oh my God, I am so far behind. And they're just like, I mean, they don't say it, but you know, nobody says it. When you come on the other side, there's nobody teasing you saying you're not this rich, you don't have this much money. That's not true. They don't do none of that. That's not true, right? You just feel as yourself. Like when I'm over here now, I turn around, look back at the debt matrix. I'll be like, God damn, I was fucking around in there until age 40. Yep, it's like, yeah, you were there, just doing what all the slaves do. Sure were. I'm like, damn. What's up, Fred? John says, I remember working for Verizon. I remember seeing bills 1,000, 1,500, and one bill that was 5,000. I was like, this is insane. People are paying mortgages for phones. Sure. Why do you think they're jacking up the prices of phones? They're making it to where slaves will automatically believe that they will never be able to buy a phone in cash. If they want they got them already hooked on the latest and greatest phones. That's like, it's almost like a slave statement. I got the latest phone. That means I have money. It's all slaves. It's just slave, showing off and stuff like that. Right. They get to a point to where they can't pay cash for a phone. They can't. Mm, that's forever money. That's forever money. That's like when I think about money like that with Apple and stuff like that, Amazon, I'd be like, God damn. Walmart, I'd be like, damn. That's like for NFL, NBA, that's like forever. That's forever money. God. It's like they don't even have to do any work anymore. They don't got to do any work anymore. Mm. Nike, Jordans, Beat headphones. They just, man, the slaves be thinking, man, if I got this expensive shit, that everybody's gonna think I got money. Wrong. That is so wrong. Wrong. Only slaves believe that. Only a slave will believe what you got on. If this is you that's wearing all that shit, hey, that's cool for your business, but I'm telling you, only slaves believe that. We can still see that you're broke because you're speaking a certain way. I promise you, you don't know that you are. You're saying things that are cool to slaves, but when you're talking to people that understand money, we can tell that you're broke because you'll say things, you'll do things that just don't make any mathematical sense. That's how we know. And just so you'll know, how will we know? We'll just take one look at your personal credit report and it will tell us everything we need to know. No, not your credit score, your entire credit report, the contents of your credit reports. It will tell us everything about you, even outside of finance. It will tell us everything. People don't unconscious slaves don't know that. You guys don't. You guys just think credit reports is about finance and shit. It's way more than that. It tells about your character too. Tells about your whole character. Tells about your whole life. Tells about you. You probably and it was me. So don't think you're alone. Okay. Don't think it's just you when I tell you this. Okay. I bet you half the people that you're with right now, if you're with somebody even for years, I guarantee you've never seen their personal credit report. Never. And they probably never even seen yours. Never even probably knew to even ask. You guys don't even know that credit report will answer a lot of your financial problem questions. You guys are probably in relationships, can't figure out why money is not doing this and that, and we can't get ahead. Take a look at each other's personal credit report. It will answer all your questions. You guys don't even know that, do you? Don't even know that. Damn, how come we ain't got no money to do this? Pull your partner's credit report. You'll find out a lot of stuff. Maybe credit cards open up in your name. You don't even know. Man, it's crazy. That's why when you get out of the debt matrix, how it's going to change your life. If you're taking, if you're going to take any relationship serious, seeing their personal credit report is a requirement. That's a requirement. Seeing your personal credit report is a requirement. If you're with somebody and you guys have never seen each other's personal credit report and you guys are having money problems, I just gave you the answer. If you turn to the partner you're with, the person you're having sex with every day, and you say, "Hey, you mind if I see your personal credit report?" If that's a problem, that whole thing is a problem. Oh, we can share our bodies, but I can't see your personal credit report. That doesn't make sense. That's a red flag right there because people that understand money like us, we have no problem showing you our personal credit report because there's nothing on it. Who cares? You want to look at a blank page? Okay, here, look at it. See? But if you turn to your partner, listen, I guarantee you, whoever you're with right now, And this is guaranteed. I guarantee you nobody in their life before hearing this had ever asked them that question, ever. Can I see your personal credit report? All three of them. They'll be like, "What? What kind of question is that?" And when you guys experience this, what I'm telling you, pay attention to the look on their face. You got to see it before you ask. Prepare yourself for the first response of their face because that's going to be the truth. It's going to be quick. So you got to pay close attention when you ask that question because nobody will have ever asked them that question. I promise you, ever. See the response right there. What's the big deal? I mean, if they go crazy and they might start going crazy, start throwing a tantrum. Don't fall into that. That's called trying to suck you into something. Don't. It's just mathematics. You got to ask yourself, why are they getting upset over math? That makes no sense. Got to pay attention to that. If you haven't asked this question and you're having money problems, if this is you falling for all the online MLMs, why do you think they're growing so fast? You guys think those things are the answer. No, the answer is you. First, you must know you're a slave. First, you must know that. I mean, embrace it. You got to embrace it. You got to know you're a slave. What I'm here to tell you, there's two kinds of slaves, though. This is what slaves, first of all, unconscious slaves don't know they're slaves because they're unconscious. There's two types of slaves. There's unconscious slaves and there's conscious slaves. Unconscious slaves don't trust math and they don't know they don't trust math. Example, believing you're a homeowner with a 30-year mortgage. That's not mathematically true. If you trusted math, you would clearly stop calling yourself a homeowner. Financing a car for 84 months and you think you got it on sale. If you trusted math, you would clearly understand nobody gets a finance 84-month car on sale. Nobody. And then there's conscious slaves. Conscious slaves were once unconscious, came across the SMD channel, realize that if they're living in the financial, realize that they're living in the financial negative, and if they're living in the financial negative, they are slaves. Now they're doing whatever it takes to get out of. The only way out of become not being a slave anymore is getting to zero. Conscious slaves even recognize themselves as conscious slave. A conscious slave will tell you that I'm a conscious slave because that's a badge of honor, baby. Believe that. To even call yourself a conscious slave, because there's millions that don't even know they're slaves, walking around, have not a clue, even if you tell them right to their face. Tell them right to their face, hey, you know you're a slave if you have more, blah, 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 blah. Even the Bible says it, Proverbs 22:7. They'll look at you like you're nuts. They're unconscious. All the proof in the world, still don't believe it. Hey, you know the Bible says Proverbs 22:7. You're the borrower is slave to the lender. That means if you have a mortgage, the lender is the bank, and you're the borrower, right? Yeah, that means you're the slave. So you can't be the homeowner. That's what the Bible says. They'll still look at you like, what? What are you talking about? Even when you prove it to them. They're doing whatever it takes to get out, and then once they get to zero, they're free. Once you get to zero, you'll be like, oh shit, this is what it feels like to own myself. Sure do. Welcome. Now what do? I say, you go this way. I even got a plan for that. I can point you to the right direction. You want to go here. Because once you own yourself, the whole game changes. Everything changes. Everything. Once you realize and accept you've been a slave all your life and you're not, everything changes. What's up, Omari, Hyphy, Wayman, Soul Brother? Hello, hello, Quam. What's going on? FIC, Omanike. Everyone in the hood is hitting licks with them 20K PPP. Right. I heard about that, but it has to be paid back. Don't believe it will be forgiven. Oh, no. Check this out. I see that all the time. And I'm here to tell you, this is my opinion. Okay. This is my opinion. Nothing I'm saying I can prove, but it's on purpose. They're making slaves. Why do you think it's so easy for them to listen? Why do you think it's so easy for them to get this money? Why do you think it's so easy? They already know that they are unconscious slaves. They already know. You think they're dumb? You think they don't know what they're doing when they pass out this money? They know exactly what they're doing because guess what? You have to pay back every single penny of it. This is what slaves don't understand. Hold up, man. Hold up. Quick break. Quick break. I guess I've been drinking a lot of water. Hold on. This is what This is what slaves don't understand with the PPP loans, okay? This is what you guys don't understand. There's a reason why they're making it so easy for you guys to get. There's a reason. They're not stupid. They're not stupid. Guess what's going to happen, okay? Yeah, it's forgivable. Yeah, if you follow the rules, slave, but if you do fraud, that's different. You got to read it all. Somewhere in there says if you do fraud, the rules are different. You can't bankrupt fraud. They're not going to allow you to file bankruptcy on fraud. They're going to own you, slaves. Do you guys understand that? You are getting more money. Listen, they already know whatever this amount of money that you got, I guarantee you it's the most amount of money that you had ever got in your life at one time. Guaranteed, hands down. We are in crisis mode. People lost jobs. You think you're going to follow all the rules? You're not. No, you're not. Especially if you purposely did this and you did fraud, they own you now. They own you. I want you to understand whatever amount of money you got, they now own you and they have all the time in the world to get to you. You got to wait till they reach you. Or they're going to reach you. I promise you, they're going to reach you. Now you got to sit back and just wonder when that day is going to come, when they're going to come knocking on the door and say, hey, when you filled out this application, you said this, that, this, that, this, that, and come to find out, none of that is true, which we already knew. I promise you, what you guys don't know, they already know you're lying when you send in the application. So if you get approved, that's guaranteed. You're going to be paying back more than what you're even paying. What you got, you're going to be paying back even more. And guess what? They know you're not gonna be able to pay it back, and they're gonna own you until you're dead now. Do you understand that's how it works? Especially if you did it fraudulently. Just all of them just jump on. They just jump on, they see them all doing it, be like, "Oh, man, so and so got 10,000, bought herself a new truck." Are you insane? "Oh, man, so and so," I mean, you are absolutely bananas crazy. You guys are owned now. If that's more money that you've ever seen in your life, guess what? You're never gonna be able to pay it back ever. That's a crime. That's a financial crime. Mm. You understand what that means? At that level too, you are owned for life. You are owned. Now, don't get me wrong. There's people with money out there getting PPP loans, but guess what they're doing? They're following the rules. That's the difference between you and them. They're getting it because they can. They legally qualify for it, and then they use it, and then they follow the rules according to the PPP loan. But you guys fraudulently getting those? Ooh, mm, mm, mm. I got some bad news for you. And if you know somebody, you listening to this video right now, and you know somebody that has done it, and you see them buying a whole bunch of bullshit, I want you to understand that they are now owned. You think that you just get to get that amount of money and you just get to walk away scot free buying all your bullshit? No. Mm-mm. Soon as they run your social security number and you're applying for all they one look at your credit report will 9 times out of 10 tell them that you're committing fraud. That not you're committing, but you're possibly going to commit fraud. How do I know this? Because you see your friends committing the fraud and you see they're getting paid, so you're learning from them. People committing fraud. Only slaves risk the time in their life for money. Only slaves would do that. Do you understand slaves? Only a slave would do that. Don't follow them. Slaves are being made by the millions right now. They're just making up shit for you guys just to ensnare yourself. Just put 0% down, no money down, house loans, PPP money just passing out like candy. Same way they pass out student loan debt. You notice how easy it is? Getting a student loan at 18 is just about as easy as getting a PPP loan. Do you see why it's easy? It's totally up to you. Now I want to make sure something's clear. By them passing out the PPP loan is not anybody's fault. The PPP loan is just there. I see it, but I know I don't qualify. I know for a fact I don't qualify for the rules, so I don't even try. Why would I try? It doesn't make any sense. But most of you that are committing fraud, you're already in trouble. You're already in debt. This is a rough time. You can now you could probably keep up with your car payments right now, pay your rent with the money. You're like, hey man, I need this money. You start justifying it in your brain, right? You start justifying the fraud in your mind and start paying all your bills, financing the car. Cause still, even if they gave you $100,000, a slave still wouldn't drop. It said like there was a car they wanted that was $30,000. They still wouldn't drop $30,000. You know what they would do? Put a large down payment on it. That's exactly what it start making payments. I feel sorry for you guys that man, I mean, you know how many PPP things I get come across my Instagram, Facebook? They're bombarding you with it. Look at this free money, putting American flags on it and all this other stuff. I mean, they be dressing it up. Mm. Pass that money to desperate people. Shit, man. You guys are not following the rules. Guaranteed you're not following the rules, especially if that's more money that you've ever seen at one time in your life. Oh, man. That's a done deal. Especially the people committing fraud on it. Oh, boy, I got some bad news for you guys. Woo! I've been seeing that shit on Facebook too. Oh man, so and so's coming up bragging about that shit. Putting evidence everywhere. They're putting evidence everywhere. Mm, mm, mm. Especially when you see people getting it that you know have no business getting it. You know they don't. You can look at it and say, yeah, I know for a fact that's fraud. Yeah, it is. 9 times out of 10 is fraud. And once they come knocking on your door, because they already know it's fraud before they even get to you, they already know it's fraud. Okay, I'm just telling you. They're just gonna walk in and they're gonna say basically, hey, we owe you. I mean, we own you. Yeah, this is what you're gonna do, and this is the amount of money you're gonna be paying us for the rest of your life. Because if you don't, we have the power to take everything, any bank account, anything you open up, we have the power to take it. So we pretty much own you for the rest of your life. Why? Because of yourself. You committed fraud. What do you mean? We said these are the rules, and you ignored them. So that's fraud. Now you're gonna have a record. Now you can't even get a job making a little bit of more money because you're gonna have a financial crime on your record, which is horrible. What business owner's gonna what business owner is gonna hire a person with a financial crime on their record? Are you crazy? Well, at least a position that's going to be around finances, because you most definitely will not be around money. Believe that. Are you tired of that? You tired of living paycheck to paycheck? Hell, you tired of dating the wrong people? Dating? Just like confused. You're just confused what you see on TV. You think you're supposed to be married at a certain time. You're supposed to have kids at a certain. None of that is true. That's all TV programming. No. You get out of debt, you will understand. I promise you, you'll know when to have a child. You'll know when to buy a house. You'll know where you want to live. All that. You'll even know who to have a kid with. Because you'll never ever date a slave ever. You most definitely won't have a child by a slave. That will never happen. You won't. You will no longer be in a courtroom having a guy in a black robe deciding you about your money. That will never happen. You know why? Know why you're in court? What with a person in a black robe dictating your money? That's for people that don't understand the rules. When you don't understand the financial rules, they say, "Okay, cool, all right, we're gonna have this person right here tell you what you're gonna do with your own money because you don't understand the rules." That's how it works. When I think back when I was younger and I was always in child support court and my ex was trying to get more and more money each time, you know whose fault that was? Or I was in court? My fault. I was an unconscious slave. If I knew I was a slave, I wouldn't have had children. I would have known before I have a child, I must own myself. If I don't own me, how can I own my child? I'm not saying I'm owning my kid, but how can I can't. If I don't own myself, what am I doing bringing another person into the world and I don't even own myself? You will see everything. Everything. Your whole life will change. All that changes. You won't care. I always tell people you won't care about their salary. You won't care what kind of car they drive. All of that is it doesn't exist. What's up, Sal's? This is the answer. I promise you, this is the answer. You want to be free from all that. You want to just, you know, you tired of working at a place where where your job treats you like shit, your boss talks to you like shit. Once you're out of debt, none of that happens anymore. That does not exist. That no longer exists because you won't allow it. You won't worry. You won't worry how you won't have to worry about when you're going to get a raise because you're going to walk in telling that what how much you're going to work here for. You want me to work here? Yeah, this is my requirement. This is my salary requirement. If not, you just leave. I was like, let me explain something to you so you guys can get it. The programming that's in like TV, right? I was watching this commercial just the other day. Now I rarely watch TV, but I was watching this one commercial, I'm not sure what the purpose of the commercial was, but they were in the office and the boss. Oh, it was a general insurance commercial, like the general. The boss said to the employee, he opens the closet, the janitorial closet, and the employee is in the janitorial closet. He says just like this. He says, remember when you told me, suggested that I go to the general for cheaper insurance, and I thought you were crazy, so I put you in this closet. And the employee goes, yeah, and it reminds me every day of the smell of this mop. He had a dirty mop behind him, right? And the boss is kind of laughing. Well, he says, well, you were right. You know, you were right. And I basically like maybe I shouldn't have put you in here or something. And then he leaves and kind of laughs, looks around the closet, and he closes the door. And I said to myself, first of all, I don't care what boss that is. There is no boss that could put me in a janitorial closet at work and say, this is where you're going to be working. Only a slave would accept something like that. But when you think about it subliminally, people think the boss can, yeah, because he's the boss, he can do that to you. He can put you in the bad office. He can put you wherever. Only if you allow that. So if you allow a boss to treat you that way, basically put you in, I mean, it's almost saying that a boss can treat you any way. And if you look at the commercial and believe it's true because your boss treats you that way, that person in the closet is you in the janitorial closet sniffing a dirty mop. That's you. You probably don't think it's you because you're not physically in a closet, in a janitorial closet, but that boss treats you like pretty much the same way, right? That's because that's your fault. Mm, 2 to 5 years to pay it back. Now, I want to make sure everybody here understands. I'm not against marriage. Totally not. I actually believe in it. But I strongly suggest before you ever even consider marrying, I strongly suggest you get out of debt. Strongly suggest it. Get to zero, own yourself. Before you ever get married, get out of debt. And it just came to me as I'm saying it to you. Before you get married, get out of debt. And then if you decide to continue to marry that person after you get out of debt, everything's on you. Everything's on you. Because I promise you, once you get out of debt, you won't date a slave. You won't even get close to marriage. You'll barely even have sex. Yeah, that's how serious it is. That's how serious it is. As a guy out of debt, you'd be like, man, I'm trusting this thin piece of condom material to change my financial life. Yeah, that's exactly what you're doing. Yeah, you're exactly right. You're trusting in a company that guarantees nothing. They don't guarantee every single one of their condoms work. They don't. Nowhere on the box it says that. Oh yeah, we guarantee 100% that you won't get nobody pregnant. No, they're not guaranteeing nothing. You have no guarantees that your financial life is going to change forever if you impregnate a slave. And that goes for women too. If you have a child by a slave, you're going to be tied to that financially, emotionally tied to that slave for at least the next 18 years. Tied. Constantly in court where a person in a black robe is dictating your finances, splitting up. You're going to pay this. You can't buy that, this and that for 18 years. Ooh, man. Don't even know. That will never happen. You go out on a date. You go out on a date. They look the part, all dressed nice, smelling good, drive a nice car, got the great job, and then you find out they're financing their cell phone. Mm, mm, mm. You're gonna be like, you're not going. Everything's gonna change about that person. The way they look, their haircut won't matter, their car won't matter, their just the way they look, their job, their career, what college they went to. When you find out they're financing a cell phone, that's all you need to know about their finances. They're financing a cell phone. You already know. You look at that. This is how you ask an unconscious slave without them knowing. Okay. You look at the phone. If they got the latest phone, you say, "Hey, how much is that? The new iPhone?" Blah blah blah. And they say, "Oh, yeah." You say, "How much was that?" If they say, "I don't know," I think it was around. It was they financed it because if the phone is $1,500 plus tax, say 1,700. If somebody bought the phone in cash, brand new, for $1,700, and if you ask them that question, how much was this phone? They're going to say $1,700. They're not going to say around. It was. I don't know. Especially if you spend $1,700, they will never say I don't know. If you drop $1,700 on something and somebody asks you what the cost of that, would you say you don't know? You would say $1,700. I promise you. Half of you guys listening to these relationship channels, when to get married, what age to get married, get out of debt, and you'll know exactly when and to whom. First, you must get out of debt. Get out of debt first. Your whole outlook will change on marriage. It will totally change. It will totally. It's like when you see somebody get a prenup, they're about to get married, but they got to get a prenup first. Doesn't that just negate that automatically negates the marriage, right? You're preparing for the divorce. Then why the fuck are you getting married if you're preparing for the divorce? See how that doesn't make sense? You get out of debt. You won't have to worry about stuff like that. Why not? Because you won't marry a slave. You won't marry especially unconscious slaves. You're probably thinking, what is an unconscious slave? If you believe you're a homeowner with a 30-year mortgage, you are an unconscious slave because what you're saying is not mathematically true. You're unconscious, obviously. I asked the girl I dated who wanted kids, what was her plan financially for her children? She said she didn't have one. With what I know, I dodged it, but you sure did. Don't even, I mean, hell, I'm not even talking negative about people, slaves. I want you guys to understand something. I was a slave from 18 to age 40. Just because you hear me calling you a slave, don't doesn't mean I wasn't one myself. I was until age 40 years old. A six-figure college educated making slave. Six-figure earning slave. That's all I was. Network engineer, whatever you want to call me. Then I woke up. Now I'm not. Once you're out of debt, I promise you, man or woman, it doesn't matter. You will not have a relationship with a slave. I promise you, you won't. What's up, reigning woman? What's up, Beauty Jock? Beauty Jock says, my now husband married with me. My now husband married me with debt, with my debt. I didn't have much. It didn't matter to him, but it didn't make sense to me. But I stayed financially focused through now 9 years of marriage, and we are almost free. Congratulations. Now, what Beauty Jock is describing, that's that kind of proves a couple things. All right. They to work through that, that proves that their relationship is obviously on a different frequency. Because I'm not saying everybody's relationship will break up, but that will test your relationship. I promise you, it will test it. Because if you're with somebody that will absolutely not get out of debt with you, you wake up and you're like, oh man, I am a slave. Hey baby, we're a slave. We should do this and that. And they say, nah, good luck. You are very welcome. Very welcome. Because if you put it this way, if you're with somebody right now and you guys are on the same financial level, right? You guys both are on the same page, out of debt. Understand you guys are both free. You're with each other by choice, whatever. And something broke you up, okay? Good luck on finding another person to seriously date that's not in debt. Good luck. Because I promise you, it's not on dating apps. It's not. And even and when you're with somebody, which I am, you don't as a man, okay, like men really think that when you're young, men really believe that you should always have multiple women, you should always have different ass here and there. That's all part of the program too. That's not true. That's none of that is true. That's not true. You don't have to do any of that. Get out of debt and you'll understand what I mean. Get out of debt. Once you're out of debt, you wouldn't chance impregnating a slave. You find out a woman's like you come across a woman, he's like, oh, she's fine, and you find out she got 100,000 in student loan debt. There is no way you're going to get her pregnant. No way. There is no way. There will never be one time, man. I just want to feel it. That will never happen. You will always have condoms on, and you will always bring your own condoms. You'll never be too drunk or too high. That will never happen. Once you understand that you were once a slave and now you're free, you'll never because if you did that, say like this, you know for a fact if you did what it take to you follow the SMD plan, you got out of debt, you realize that you're free by impregnating a woman that's a slave, you know that would put you right back in it. But this time it will put you right back in debt because you'll be in debt to that person and the child, blah, blah, blah. But this time, not only will you be in debt, you'll be in debt to the system. You will have somebody in a black robe telling you what you can and cannot do with your money. What percent are they going to take out of each check and blah, 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 all that bullshit. And it'd be all your fault. You would not risk that. We should teach our children to live without getting in debt. Yep. Indebted to find friends with the same frequency and make it one of the dating requirements. And and we're getting there. This is a this transformation of SMD is a process. It really is a process. Fanton says financing two cars right now. Both are 2021 models. Man, I'm panicking. I don't know what to do. Do I make? Yes, you made a huge mistake. Yeah, you did. But here's where you're going to get the truth. Okay. This is where you're going to get the truth. Driving back to the bank. They say, I don't want them. Because there's no, right now you got 2021 models. Yeah, you ain't get, yeah. You got to pay your way out of that. You ain't getting out of those. Put them up for sale. Let me say this first. Put them up for sale. Oh no, you got to. Never mind. You probably way upside down in that car. There's no way you're going to get that money for those cars at 2021. Oh yeah, no, yeah. The only way you're going to get out of those if you bring them back to the bank. That's it. That's the only way you're going to get out of them. You need to. You know what? You need to come see me. You need to come see me. See the website at the bottom. Sign up for a consultation. You can get out. Okay, you just need a plan. Don't do like don't do like millions of other slaves. Stick their head in the sand and pretend it's not there. Because when you stick your head in the sand like an ostrich, they want you to stick your head in the sand because they can own you for the rest of your life as long as your head's in the sand. Thank you, sir. Get rid of them. Cut your law. Exactly. And when you say I can't, Fannin, what do you mean by that? You should get up on the mic, man. You don't have to get on camera. You should get on the mic. There's the link. Click on the link, man. And anybody else that want to get up there and talk, I'm gonna tell you something, okay? I can see the majority of you guys are panicking right now. And people like me can see. That's how people make money. That's how scammers make money. We can see you panicking. You're not making rational financial decisions. You're not. I know it seems like it's very bad right now. Yeah, it is. But if you understand how it works right now, now is the time to understand how it really works right now. There's an economy that you just can't see because you're in debt. And if you keep thinking that student loan debt is just part of life, man, if you're following people on PPP fraud, man, don't do that. Whatever they're, whatever, man, don't do that. I wanted to impress the people around me like I have it when I really don't. Let me tell you something, Fenton. All the slaves do that. Stop. This is what I want you to stop feeling bad about. Stop making. I don't want you to think it's just you. That's where you mess up at. You think you just did this pretending that you have it, but you guys all do the same thing. All the slaves do. The only one you guys are impressing is each other. People with money don't make car payments. We don't finance cars. Slaves don't know what kind of financial statement that makes to somebody that understands money when you're making car payments. If you're making car payments, you just don't understand the statement that you just made. We're not paying attention to you. You're making car payments. You can't talk about investing and you make while making car payments at the same time. That's impossible. That breaks all the laws of mathematics, all of them. I can't tell you, man. It wouldn't matter if I told you or not. You wouldn't understand it. Housing market crash is coming. What else? Huh. I don't know. Right now, I'm just paying attention to the housing market crash. I'm picturing how many people are going to be beyond generational rich here coming up when when this next housing market crash comes. Man, generations are about to have some money, all in real estate. All you people that did fraud PPP straight out, all of you that did it semi legally on your business, all you guys are going to be cleared out because you won't be able to pay back the money. See ya. You're being moved off the board, off the real estate board. All you people that pretend you were homeowners just because you got a second mortgage on your house and you thought you were making a profit on the rental, all of you guys are going bye bye. And you guys don't even see it coming. You're so blinded by the hot housing market right now. You don't even see what's coming. Don't even not even taking a chance to look at them and say, "Hey, what is that big ass wave? What is that?" It's pretty far away. It looks pretty small, but it's huge. If you can see it from that far away, that means it's big. That's a couple miles out. Damn, but that is a wave. If you can see that it's a wave, that means it's very big. And it's coming your way. It's coming our way. Coming this way. But what you guys don't see, there's people with binoculars like, "Oh, okay, yeah, it should be here around shit, I'm thinking about August." Yeah. So they're just packing up, doing what they need to do to get ready for it. And then they're gonna, as soon as that wave washes all the slaves off the board, because it's just coming across it's gonna come across all the real estate financially speaking, of course, and it's gonna wipe off all the unconscious slaves that didn't know shit. And then they're just gonna clean up for generations. Generations of money is about to be made. Unfortunately, I have to just watch. Because those are the people that already had money. They've been owing this shit for years before me, and they're just waiting for it. Because this time right here is never going to happen again, ever. Not in our lifetime, not ever, but not in our lifetime. Yeah, they got right now. They got their choice. Slaves. You got to remember the time they're getting checks. People are putting down payments on cars. They don't have to. Car dealerships don't have to accept any of that bullshit. They got way too many slaves ready to finance car. You coming on trying to pay cash? They'd be like, "Nah, get out of here. We don't need you here." And you gotta remember, once you're out of debt and you have money, you don't buy cars on car lots anyway. You buy them from slaves for half the price. Buying from slaves for half the price. I used to be impressed by shiny cars, lavish vacations, the big old houses. Now I just stay and look at all that. Me too. Because you know it's all a facade. It's all finance. You see somebody's car, you know they financed it. You think your friend dropped $70,000 on that brand new Escalade? No, they didn't. No, they didn't. You know they're making car payments. Okay, that's all you got to look like. Look at it like when you have a friend or a coworker or whatever, and they come rolling up in a brand new whatever, and this car costs 50. Still like this, they come rolling up to work with a brand new Tesla. But you know they didn't drop 60, 50, $60,000 on the car, whatever. It doesn't matter which model Tesla. You know they didn't drop cash on it. They're not saving money on gas. No, they're not. People that are making payments on a Tesla, they're not saving money on gas. That's an illusion. Hey, if you buy this car, you'll get a $1,500 tax credit. No, you're not, slave. You're in debt. You guys don't get tax breaks. Slaves don't get tax breaks. That's an illusion too, slaves. When they offer you, like you buy an electric car and you're deep in debt making payments on a Tesla, and they offer you a 1,500 state tax break, they're not giving you no tax break. That's an illusion, slave. Slaves don't get tax breaks. Taxes are for you. Yes, I did. I saw it on my tax return. I saw it on my tax return. My tax preparer put it on there. Never mind. I'm not talking to you anymore, slave. Never mind. Cryptocurrency doesn't exist for slaves. It's only real for people who are not in debt. Because this is, and I'm explaining to you very simply too. The reason why it's only real for people who are not in debt, let's take Bitcoin for example. The reason why it's only real for people who are not in debt, because slaves are the Bitcoins. They're the Bitcoins. Bitcoin couldn't exist without slaves. That's why they break it up in Bitcoin crumbs. How many slaves do you think can afford a $55,000 coin? If they said, hey, nobody can play Bitcoin unless you buy a whole coin, how far do you think Bitcoin would go? They wouldn't go anywhere. So they break it up in Bitcoin crumbs. Who gets the crumbs? Slaves. They trying to stun on you, LJ, with that new Tesla. No, I mean, one day I'm gonna get a Tesla because, and I'm gonna pay cash for it. And the really reason why, not only because of the quality of the car, but that's one more thing I won't be a slave to. I will no longer be a slave to gasoline. And I know that's the stretch saying I'm a slave to it, but I don't like that. I don't like that. This is what I can't stand. This is what bothers me. Okay. Anything that don't make sense to me, it bothers me, especially when it comes to money. You drive down the street, one gas station says gas is this price, the other one says gas is this price, and then it's like, what the what happened to the unleaded gas happened down the street to got here to make it 10 cents higher? I don't get it. It's like, well, gasoline should at least be the same price in the whole city where you live, but everybody has different price. Why is that? Nobody really ever explains that. They just say, oh man, it's this much over here and it's that much over there. Why? I don't like that. That means when I see things that don't make financial sense, that means somebody's making money. Herman says, how do you feel about millennials being in debt all the way up to their necks? That's a good thing. I keep telling people this. I am not against the financial system. It's a choice. If all you have to do, if you want to be successful in our financial system, never ever break the laws of mathematics and you'll be rich. That's all you got to do. Stop believing you're a homeowner with a 30-year mortgage when you know it's not mathematically true. That's not true. That breaks the, if you believe you're a homeowner with a 30-year mortgage, you're breaking the laws of mathematics. That's not true. Open your calculator, put in your mortgage payment minus your mortgage balance, and hit equal. The number that you see is your equity inside of a house that you don't own. That's your equity right there. That's your equity. Your mortgage payment minus your mortgage balance equals your equity in a house that you don't own. That's your equity. That's how much money you have to pay off your car. Like when you refinance your house to pay off your car, in according to the laws of mathematics, that's how much money you have to pay off your car, your credit cards, everything. That's how much you have. And you're probably thinking, wait a minute, I did refinance my house and pay off my car. And that's what happened. That's what you think happened. I know you think that. But according to the laws of mathematics, that's impossible. You can't do that. Well, I did not think about Bitcoin that way. Bitcoin is the best game in town. I get everyone to get a piece, and I have not millions, but billions of slaves. Yes. Now, those of you that understand money, congratulations on Bitcoin. Absolutely. Hands down, congratulations. I applaud you. For those of you that understand money that are not in debt. Because according to the laws of mathematics, if you have student loan debt, you have no money to invest in Bitcoin. That's impossible. According to the laws of mathematics, that's impossible if you invested in Bitcoin while having student loan debt. That's impossible. But if you believe you did, that's on you. You are the Bitcoin. If you believed, put it this way, I'm going to make it really simple. If you believe you invested in Bitcoin while having student loans, you are the Bitcoin. The reason why you're the Bitcoin, because if you thought you did that, that breaks all the laws of mathematics. That's impossible. That's what makes you the Bitcoin. Now you see Bitcoin going up. There's millions of people just like you that believe they're investing with no money of their own, none, zero. According to the laws of mathematics, if you have a mortgage, you have no money to invest in Bitcoin, none, zero. If you have a mortgage payment minus mortgage balance equals the amount of money you have to invest in Bitcoin. But if you don't believe it, and you did, and you believe you're making money, you are the Bitcoin. Bitcoin could understand something. Bitcoin couldn't exist without you, slaves. It's no different than the lottery. You think there's something that's unregulated and they can't really control it. All that stupid bullshit that you guys believe. They can't track it. They can't do this. It's highly encrypted in blockchain and all this blockety blah. It's all bullshit. It just sounds sophisticated to you, slaves. You don't even know you don't even have any money to invest in something that doesn't exist. You don't even know that. Of course, you're going to believe anything. You're going to believe it all. You're going to believe every single bit of it because all for the simple fact is that you believe you can invest in Bitcoin while having student loans, while having a mortgage, while having credit card debt, while making car payments. You believe that. If you invested in Bitcoin while making car payments, you are the Bitcoin. Do you understand, slave? You. Girl, listen, they get lip injection, boob jobs. Yep. These 19, 22-year-old different. I'll be 40 this year and try to talk to them, but they ain't trying to hear that. And this is the one thing about I wish when I was that age, this is what I wish somebody would have said to me when I was 19, 20. Okay, I'm gonna tell you, this is what I wish somebody would have said to me. That was my age, 51. I'm 51 right now. I wish somebody would have came up to me and said, "Hey, Linnell," I would say, "Yeah, you are new to earth, not me. You stop calling me old. You're young. 20, 30, that's young. You guys don't really understand it. You think you're adults, but you're not. You're young. I'm not old. I know you think 51 is old. It's not. 51 can be with anything you want to be. You guys see my workout videos? 51 can be anything you want it to be. Don't believe what the program's telling you. 51 Walker, and that's a lie. That's all a lie. That's all. It's all how you take care of yourself. You are young. You don't understand something. You're new to earth. You're just born. Right there is when you can make or break your life right there in your early you just don't know that. Right there is that at that age where you're gonna make or break yourself of being a slave. That's right there. If you just if somebody would say, man, just wake up. You're young. You're new. I'm not old. You're young, Linnell. You're young. You think you need to be having a baby at 22, Linnell? Nah, that's too young, Linnell. That's way too young. That's when I had my first son, 22. I think back about that. I think back about that now. I was way too young for that. What? I didn't even own myself. I was a kid. I was a kid in debt who didn't own myself. Yep, a lot of dudes have already broken themselves. They have. I see these young dudes, man, having all these children. You have no idea how deep you're burying yourself. You have no idea. You'll see a dude out there got 8 children, 9 children out there. I'm thinking to myself, there is no way you're going to die a slave. There's no way you're going to be able to pay back that much money. No way. If they all file for child support, I mean, you will never ever see a tax return. When you get a job, every check will be garnished. I garnished. Uh, mm, mm, mm. You will never be able to feel the freedom that I'm trying to explain to you. Never. When I had my 3 kids when I was young, man, I always knew never to fall behind on my child support. I always just knew. I was like, nah, man. I saw the punishments guys would get: suspended license, tax return taken. I just didn't want that to happen to me, right? So I said, okay, no, I'm just make sure I pay my shit on time. I'm never gonna fall behind. And I never did, ever. But I hated being in court all the time, just them taking my money and all this other stuff. And I just, mm, that was horrible, man. That was a horrible time, especially what I know today. I'm free today. So when I think about that at those moments, I was just, you don't realize that part of the system is it's a business. You're there because of your own choices. That's why you're there in family court with the kids and fighting. You are there because of your own choices, and they're capitalizing on it due to my own fault. I'm not blaming the system. I'm not. If I was not a slave, I would never had a child at that young age. That would have never happened. I would never ever listen. I want you guys to clearly understand this. Once you realize you're on yourself, you will never ever have unprotected sex again with a stranger, right? Eventually, if you with somebody for a long time, it probably will stop after a while. But I'm talking about if you know it's casual, because you'll never date a slave. So you'll never have unprotected sex again, ever. Because the majority of people you date are slaves. The majority are slaves. Because once you own yourself, you'll realize time is the most valuable thing on earth. It's time. It's time. Time is not money, it's time. Once you get out of debt, you'll be like, oh shit, it's time. Yeah. One day you're gonna be dead. You think you're gonna mess with somebody that can even remotely play with some of the time in your life? By say like you with somebody and they're fucking around on you. That's do you understand people are playing with the time of your life when they fool around on you, especially when you know it? They're playing with the time in your life. And they're coming back having sex. Hey man, you won't allow any of that shit. None of that. You find out somebody that you with had sex with somebody else, it's over immediately. You won't care how hurt you are. You're like, oh, you're playing with the time of my life. Yeah. Oh yeah, I don't play that. Mm-mm. No. It's over. You just answer the question. 'Cause if you're with me and you can share your body with another person, you are obviously not for me. See ya. You know what's so funny now? You know, it's like now that I'm out of the debt matrix, the society will make you believe just because a man has a dick, he just naturally is going to be fucking everybody. That is not true. That's not true. That is not true. When you're a man and you're in control of that, your whole world changes. I promise you. I'm a man here to tell you that everything changes when you control sex and sex doesn't control you. The whole game changes. Everything changes. Yeah. Oh yeah. You still look at women the same, but it's not that urge to say, "Ooh, I just got it." No, that's not there anymore. Nope, sir. No, sure not. Mm-mm. None of that is there. None of it. You're just like, hey, okay, wow, that's nice looking. Yeah, no, and I'm good. I'm good. You'll be like, I wait. I'll wait. I can chill and no problem. I can wait. You don't. And not and busy is not even the word. What it is, this is what it is. It's when you experience a freedom like this, you don't in order to experience this type of freedom, you cannot have drama in your life. It cannot exist. Once you eliminate all drama, because you don't you don't have to have any of it. It's all a choice. You don't have to be stressed. Even stress is a choice. You don't have once you remove all that, because all of that is out of my life, you will never allow it back in. If you like say like you're meeting somebody on the phone and immediately you pick up on the shit that they do because your whole instincts are going to be different. Okay, I promise you. You'll understand once you're out of debt. You'll pick up on the things that's just that kind of stuff that slaves do, especially in relationships. You'll pick it up right away and you just say, "Hey, goodbye. This is not going to be working." It doesn't matter if they understand it or not, long as you understand it. Because you got to remember what they do, right? They think it just that's what you do. It works on everybody. It just is what it is. Oh yeah, yeah, he's the dude, he's gonna want this. They never come across dudes like me that no, I'm not like that. Sorry. Are you gay? No, I'm not gay. Far from it. Your whole world changes. And that goes for men and women. It's not just a man. I'm just saying the man's point of view because I am a man. That goes for a woman too. All of that changes. You won't be impressed by a dude's car. You won't care what kind of job he has. You won't be jealous because he got multiple women or he's so fine. That's why he got all the no, none of that. None of that will matter. Oh, look how he looks. So I just expect women to be hitting on him. Women hitting on him has nothing to do with anything. I want you to understand that. The final decision is his. He can't stop anybody from hitting on him, but he can turn to him and say, no, I have a woman. Can I have your number? No, my woman wouldn't like that. Why would I give you my number and have you call me when I just told you I have a woman? Would you want that to happen? No. Way more important. Shout out to Tight for the $5 super chat. Thank you, sir. And it's not the amount that counts. It's just the thought that you've even done it. It counts. Okay. Appreciate it. I don't want you ever to think anybody donating a certain amount. I don't want you to think that whatever your amount ain't shit. You know, if it ain't $100, no, man. It's the very thought of somebody saying, "Hey, I'm going to give some of my money that I worked for to this person because that's what I feel like." That's how I look at it. Like when I go to other channels, they be trying to pressure people to donate. I don't care what you say. Oh man, you if nobody ain't putting up no $5 super chat, I'm gonna leave. You know what I do? I immediately leave. You ain't making me do anything that I don't want to do. If I want to donate, I'll donate when I feel like donating. You ain't gonna tell me in order to even follow you or watch you, I have to donate to you to watch you, or else you're gonna this one time. Okay, I'm not even gonna say no name, but this is crazy. This is crazy. I said because It's not a business thing. I just want you guys to experience something. I was following this one channel, and because people wasn't doing something or they wasn't donating or doing something, the person puts the camera towards this thing and just sits there and plays some music until people got up the likes. And you ain't making me do shit. Oh, you gonna punish me because I ain't doing something that you tell me to do? See ya. I ain't staying there. No. Are you crazy? That's crazy to me. There is no way. I'm just here to watch to see if I even like you. You gonna tell me what I can and cannot do while I'm here? No, see ya. Why do you think I left iPhone to Android? I don't want nobody telling me. Apple started telling me what I can do with my phone. Take away the head jack. You got to get Apple approved power cords. I said, see ya, Apple. You ain't telling me all that shit. I'm out. That's crazy that the 90 kids fell into the bait. They never had a chance. This is and this is what I want you guys to also too start thinking about. Stop thinking about like Gen X kids and this generation. That's the trick too. That's a program. It had math don't care what generation you grew up in. Stop thinking that there's something different between young people and old people. It's all the same. All the unconscious slaves that don't trust mathematics. It doesn't matter what age you are. If you don't trust math, if you're 20, and if you don't trust math, if you're 50, you guys are just both unconscious slaves that don't trust math. It's to stop. It's all part of the program to keep. This is what all that stuff is to do. To keep unconscious slaves just so busy in their brains, to keep them from using basic mathematics on their finance. They think everything is going on around them to keep them from saying, hey, wait a minute, let me just stop. Wait a minute. Okay, wait. One plus one equals two, right? Yeah. So if I take that same math and apply it to my finances, that means I'll have the real answer. Yes, that's it. That's all you got to do. Then what's the hard part? You got to believe it. You got to believe your own math. When you put in your mortgage payment minus your mortgage balance and hit equal, the hard part is to believe it. When you hit equal, that's hard. That's hard. Like when if you had $20 in your hand, listen, this is how hard it is, slave, so you guys can really get it. Say like you had $20 in your hand, right? You open up the calculator, you put $20 minus your monthly car payment and hit equal. Now you got to believe the calculator. The calculator is saying you don't have $20 in your hand, but yet you're holding it. But then you look at the calculator and the calculator says, according to the laws of mathematics, you don't have $20 in your hand. And remember, you put the numbers in the calculator yourself. You put them in yourself and you hit equal yourself. And the calculator saying, according to what you entered into me, this is what I calculate. And I go, and the calculator, if the calculator could speak, the calculator says, and I only go according to the laws of mathematics. That's how I work. That's the only way I can work. And hit equal. Now you got to believe it. You got to say, I don't have $20 in my hand. No, you don't. But if you do, if you still believe you have $20 in your hand, you're what's called an unconscious slave. That's it. Nothing more than that. If a channel is threatened to take action if donations don't come in, that tells you that you're really not on YouTube. What you're really they're well, what they're really on YouTube for. Unsubscribe. Exactly. Unsubscribe. If they turn the camera to some inanimate object just sitting there and they're playing music and they're just that's like, are you a kid? You must be a child. Because the last time a person did that to me was my mom when I was acting bad. She put me in my room and said, stare at the wall, or you can't play with nothing or something, whatever it was. That's what it equates to. If you accept something like that and you respond to it, you're an unconscious slave. I promise you, you are. Because once you're out of debt, you would never accept anything like that from anybody that would do that. Go see how many channels do that shit. Go see. You ain't telling me what I can and can. If I don't want to like the video, I don't have to fucking like the video if I don't want to like it. You ain't gonna make me like it. That shit, that man, that don't make no sense to me. Slaves don't know what to do when the BMW needs repairs. And on top of that, the lease payment due. Can you imagine? If you're making car repairs and payments at the same time, you are a slave. Okay, hold up 1 second, you guys. I know this is a huge, ginormous red pill to swallow. Huge. SMD, not even just me. SMD is asking you to unlearn everything you've been taught since you were age of 18. Oh man, you got to have credit to get anything. That's the only way you're going to buy a house. It's okay to have student loans. They're low interest rates. You ain't nobody without a good credit score. If you have a bad credit score, you're broke. If you have a good credit score, you have money. I'm asking you to unlearn all of that slave splaining. That's slave talk. But the reward is different, man. You'll be on the side of the system that you never knew even existed. You would never in your wildest dreams would have ever looked at it this way ever. What's up, Record America? What's going on? Hello. Lord Boomer says, when you said the phrase ultimate slave for people who sell drugs and make car payments on Young Grump's channel, it's been stuck in my head. I know. Crazy, huh? That's the power. That's the power of the program. If you're selling drugs, making car payments, man, that's the power. You're risking the time of your life for paper that don't even exist. Money doesn't even exist for slaves. Because obviously it doesn't exist for you because you're making car payments. Those people for people in debt, people that sell drugs are not even paying taxes and they're still making payments. What's that tell you? It has nothing to do with the amount of money you make. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Who timed me out? Oh, talking about Aaron, Steven, LJ Young. Yeah, I always throw in my name every now and then. Take your time and money elsewhere. YouTube became a job paycheck for a lot of content creators. Sure did. Oh my God, I had a used BM. Oh my God, I had a used BMW paid off. That gave me so much trouble. It was like drowning money down. Oh, throwing money down the drain. Sold that shit, and I got a Honda. Perfect so far. Yeah, those BMWs, man. You know the people that with money, they get them when they're new. They get the BMWs when they're new, and they know how to do it right. Don't get me wrong. There's different ways to do it. Okay. They get the BMWs when they're new, under warranty. Anything breaks down, it's covered, blah, blah, blah. And then once they're through with it, they just toss it down. And slaves that believe wealth is a look, they buy them. And when I say buy, they finance them. Okay. If you see a slave with a nice BMW and they're making payments, they're just, like I said, they're a slave with a nice BMW. They're making payments. It don't matter. You think the bank cares what kind of rims they put on their car? They don't care. As long as that person's making the payments, you can do anything you want to that depreciating object. Mosman's funny. If you want some advice right now for free, now is the time. You don't have to get on camera. Any situation you're thinking about, I have the answer for you. I promise you. Especially if you're in a relationship with a person that you don't understand what they do with their money, I'm gonna tell you how to resolve that. I can tell you how to resolve that problem. I promise you. You just don't know what they're doing with their money. I can promise you it's easy to find out. This is why it's so easy to find out. Usually people like that are deep in debt. So that means whatever money they get, they have to borrow it. They have to. They have no choice but to use other people's money. That's why slave always use OPM, other people's money. Slaves don't really understand that they have no choice but to use other people's money. They're slaves. Slaves don't have their own money. And I didn't hire you, then I'm not obligated to pay you. I'm not your employer. YouTube is. They have to use other people's money. Slaves don't know that. Slave, I want you guys to understand nothing exists for slaves. Paper money, gold, silver, diamonds, none of that exists for them. So imagine what they're going to do to you guys with cryptocurrency. Imagine how they're going to find, they're already financially abusing you guys. They are financially abusing you guys. You guys are going to all lose when it tanks. They don't, nobody has to explain when it tanks. Nobody has to explain anything to anybody. Nobody has to report to a board and say, hey, what'd you do with the money? It's the Wild West, baby. It's the Wild West. Where nobody's responsible for nothing. You lose your money, you just lose. Nobody to call and say, hey, man, is this who stole the money? You don't have nothing. You just lose. Sounds like I do like rims, but high quality all around with quality tires. But I will never go into debt at all. And cash basic. I don't care for no credit. I don't care for no. And you know it's cool to have rims and all that stuff. I'm not saying. I'm saying do what you love, but pay cash. If you want rims and tires, go pay cash for rims and tires. I'm not saying not do what you love, because I don't want you guys thinking wealth is a look. It's not a look. But you got to remember, if you start, you got to remember, slaves think rich is a look. is what they say on TV. Okay. And if you start mimicking that look on TV, they're going to naturally think you're rich. That's why they use that to sell stuff to you, right? If you think they're rich, you're going to believe them because you, in your mind, you want to be just like them subconsciously or consciously. I don't know. But anyway, you're going to think, you're going to like, oh, I must do that to be rich. Yeah, you think that. And then that's how people are attract. But it's positive and negative. You know, you're gonna come across somebody that don't have shit and they see you have that and they're gonna try to steal it, rob, whatever, right? It's all reasons. People with money, they don't want that kind of attention. They don't want that kind of attention. It's not BS. If you have money, cryptocurrency is not BS. Put it this way. If here, I'm gonna give you guys a hint, okay? I'm gonna give you guys a hint who to talk to when it comes to cryptocurrency, okay? Find somebody that you can prove that owns whole coins, that owns whole bitcoins. I don't care if it's one. Find somebody that you can prove that can prove to you that they own not only one coin, especially if they own one, that's good enough. But if they own several, that's who you should be listening to. Not the people with Bitcoin crumbs. Okay. Crumbs are for slaves. And I always keep saying this. If they didn't break Bitcoin up, slaves couldn't afford to play. If they couldn't afford to play, Bitcoin wouldn't exist. Bitcoin can't exist without slaves. Why? Because slaves are the Bitcoins. Anybody, this is all you got to do. I'm gonna give you some more game for you slaves that don't believe me. Anybody asking you to invest in Bitcoin, I strongly suggest you ask them, do you have student loans? If they say yes, let me tell you something. According to the laws of mathematics, you cannot invest in Bitcoin while having student loan debt. That's impossible according to the laws of mathematics. So that should automatically tell you about their investing. That person don't even know that they have no money to invest. So what do you think about their investing advice if they don't even know that they don't have money to invest? What do you think their advice means? Absolutely nothing, because it makes absolutely no mathematical sense. None. You think you can invest in negative dollars and think you're going to turn a profit in Bitcoin? You are an unconscious slave. Obviously, you are the Bitcoin. You don't listen to them. You don't listen to the actual Bitcoins telling you what to do. You talk to the people that own the Bitcoins, not the people, man, not the people with Bitcoin crumbs. The ones with the crumbs are the Bitcoins. Riding home won't get you crumbs. Riding chrome won't get you home. Sure won't. Believe that. You know, when I read stuff like this, who cares? That's what I read. Who cares? You know, because if that ever happens, you know what I'm going to find? I'm going to find a debt free person that loves this kind of stuff. When they add new regulations and laws, there's a nerd out there that's debt free that understands they got to be debt free. Okay, I can't really explain that part, but they must be debt free. They love that stuff. They love finding the holes. I'll just pay somebody to find. Hey man, they got this new law. Find out what I can do legally. What they can find. When I say holes, legal holes. Find it for me, okay? Because I don't really feel like dealing with that. Or figure out, okay, why are they implementing that? What is the purpose of that? Just don't accept like, hey, they're going to be charging about a mile, and you're like, oh my god, to get outraged. No, just say, okay, why are they doing that? What's the purpose of it? And I'm not saying you personally. You pay somebody that loves that kind of shit that will read each and every page of that stuff, because believe it or not, there's people that love to do that. I promise you. You just got to find them. They're going to read, and then they'll just tell it to you in regular language. Hey, this is what it means. This is what you can do. This is what you can't do. This is what you can do legally. If you just do it this way, this way, this way, you don't have to do it that way. Lexus has the reputation for not leaving people stranded. Mazda about to walk all over BMW a little bit. You know, I don't know. I mean, you look at a Lexus dealership and you see how big it is. They're only that big because people finance cars. Okay, and they got good customer service. I mean, that's all. I mean, it's all included. It's just business. I don't really care how big they are, but I'm just letting you guys know they're only that big because people finance cars. They're not that big because people pay cash for cars. And again, if you knew how much it costs to make a Lexus, I bet people would be pissed. They would be pissed. Because you look at a high end Lexus and it didn't really cost $80,000 to $90,000 to make that car. I promise you it didn't. How do I know this? There's hundreds of thousands of them just like it. That car you buying for 80, financing for $80,000, there's 100,000 of them, hundreds of thousands of them just like that car. Each one of them then cost $80,000, $90,000. It didn't to make. Because it's true. Bitcoin crumbs. You guys, slaves are the cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency doesn't exist for slaves. Nothing. Put it this way, slaves. No currency exists for you. Cryptocurrency is like the lottery for the rich. It's like it's not even, but it's not even fair. I mean, it's not. How can I say it? We know we know the majority of you guys are slaves, and you guys don't know you don't have any money. You guys don't even know that. When you understand how it works, you know exactly when to pull your money out of cryptocurrency. Right now, slaves are on a frenzy. Everybody's getting paid. Whoever invented cryptocurrency, which I believe the banks did. I believe the banks invented cryptocurrency. Honestly, I do. Uh, the banks, they're cleaning house. All these businesses that are loaning out this PPP money, all that, they're getting all those fees, all that money. They don't care if you do fraud. And believe it or not, check this out. If you got a business that's helping you get the PPP loan and they're helping you do fraud, they're owned too. Don't just think the people that are taking the money are committing fraud. Some of those people that are giving out those PPP loans, they're committing fraud too. And if this is you, you're owned too. They own you now too. Thank you. You took the bait. So as you're spending the money, imagine each dollar you spend, you're gonna spend twice that, paying it back. So if you got 70,000, you probably paying $140,000 back by the time you're done. You can't bankrupt a fraud. Oh, is that the PPP loan max? Is it $10,000 max? Is that what you're saying? The smaller amount's even worse. That makes sense. If it's $10,000, yeah, 10 grand, you can get a lot more slaves with that kind of money. They won't think twice. They'll be like, "Oh, it's not that much. They gave out billions of dollars. They ain't gonna trip on $10,000." That's exactly what they want you to think. Mm. And they probably put it at $10,000 because you got to claim that shit. Anything over $10,000, you got to claim it. That's why they probably did it. Why $10,000? Hmm. I don't know. That's just everything is a speculation. I'm just thinking about it. But anyway, the point is, if you commit fraud, they own you. So every time you get on social media and you see these people bragging about this PPP money stuff, understand those are slaves telling you they're sharing slave information with you. Don't do it. Don't do it. Me too. That's all I invest in myself. It's more than 10,000 unless you're talking about EIDL. Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, I'm gonna say it's all together. If you commit fraud on any of these loans, you are owned. They own you. Mm. I'm just I'm just thinking about it, right? I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking they don't even know. Don't even know. They will never be able to pay that money back ever. Especially if those same people committing fraud. Imagine this: the majority of those people committing fraud, if they got student loans on top of that. Now imagine having that money that you can't bankrupt, that's collecting interest, and you got student loan debt that's collecting interest. Can you imagine? They will never, ever be able to get from under that. You are toast. Mm, mm, mm. All because of yourself. Mm. Most says, I wish the money was backed by gold, silver. The chaos is terrible. Where does this money come from? I wish, honestly, I wish stop people. I wish this is what I want you guys to understand something, okay? Stop falling for the money being backed by this and the value of dollars that because stop thinking like that. Anybody you come across, this is the same question I want you to ask them. Anybody coming up to you talking about the dollar's value, it's going down, you better believe it's not backed by gold, it was taken off the gold standard. You turn to them and say, "Do you have student loans?" If they say yes, they have no idea what they're talking about. If somebody says, "Hey man, yeah, the good man, you shouldn't the dollar, you should switch over to this because this dollar's doing better." You say, "Are you a homeowner?" If they say yes, you ask them, "Do you have a mortgage?" If they say yes, don't listen to them. The person that's giving you investment advice believes he's a homeowner, he or she's a homeowner with a 30-year mortgage. Why are you listening to them? That doesn't make any sense. You just ask them, "Are you a homeowner?" They think and then you ask them if they have a mortgage. They say yes. You don't own anything. And they're giving, and you're accepting investment advice from somebody like that? Are you insane? That's no different if you hire an accountant. You ask your accountant, "Do you have student loans?" If they say yes, you got to ask yourself, then why are they doing my accounting? That doesn't make any sense. Why would you hire an accountant that went to college for 4 years but keep their student loans for 20? That doesn't make any sense. And they're doing your accounting when that accounting doesn't even make any sense. And for the people that are doing your tax, let me tell you guys something. Okay, this is very important. If you have a person doing your taxes and they are in debt, you are fucking up big time. Big time. If the person doing your taxes is in debt, you are messing up. Especially your business taxes. If you got somebody in debt doing your business taxes, I promise you, you're messing up. Ask your business tax person, say, "Hey man, do you got student loans?" If they say yes, this is what I want you to say to them. Explain that to me. Mathematically speaking, explain to me why you got student loans older than your children. I want you to mathematically explain that to me. You must mathematically show me why your student loans are older than your tax preparation business. Please mathematically explain that to me. You have to. Oh, gotcha, gotcha. Oh, I bet. I bet. If you start a business, you get out of the debt matrix, okay? And I can give you the blueprint. You start a business and only have people on your team that are debt free, you have guaranteed success. I mean, you gotta still do the hard part of earning the customer's trust, but I'm just talking about the business side of things, okay? Earning the people's trust is something totally different. The business side of things, if you have people on your team, an accountant, a business accountant that's debt free, a tax preparer person that's debt free, and anybody else dealing with anything that has to finance with your business, all of them are debt free. All of them know the rules that the majority don't. You don't have to explain anything to anybody. You won't have to worry about theft. You won't have to, because everybody will know money doesn't even exist. So why would I steal it from you? I promise you, you come see me, you'll thank me for the rest of your life. You will. You will thank me for the rest of your life. Oh crap, man. Hold on for a second. My alarm's going on. I don't know why it's doing that. One second. One second here. I hear my alarm just come on. Come on. I don't know why it does that sometimes. Just randomly. Anyway, this is the answer. Come see me. I'll change your life forever. Right here. This is the answer. I always reiterate this, and I've been strong on this. If you are a business tax person who's deep in debt, you need to come see me ASAP. ASAP. If you are an accountant who's deep in debt, you need to come see me ASAP. This information will change your careers. It will change your careers. Your whole life will change. Everything will change because anybody in your career, listen to me, like an accountant, I'm talking to you. Anybody in your field that's in debt will not be competition to you because you will be able to see something that they cannot, mathematically speaking. I promise you. And if you're a business tax person, man, mm. And if you happen to be a business tax person who's already debt free, you need to reach out to me too, please. If you're a debt free tax person, business tax person, please reach out to me. Here's my email, savingsminusdebt at gmail.com. My Cash App is the $ at savingsminusdebt. This is the answer. I'm trying my best to explain what true freedom feels like. I'm trying to explain that. I'm here to tell you that zero exists. On the number line, zero exists. And zero has no opposite. Yeah, you notice that every other number throughout our whole time, whatever time, the numbering diagram, whatever, right? -1, -1, 2, the other way outside of zero. Zero has no opposite. Zero is to itself. You know why that is? Because everything must go through zero. Everything. Zero exists, but yet slaves don't ever say it or talk about it. None of them. Oh, shout out to Herbert. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Wasn't looking at my phone. Thank you, sir, for the Cash App donation. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. I guess we're gonna wrap this up in 5 minutes. Stayed on about what 2.5 hours. Okay. Well, I wonder. I hope. I know what I sound like. I know it sounds intimidating when I speak, but you hear how I sound. This will be you. This will be you. You'll talk just like me. You won't care. You won't care what the slaves think or say. You won't care how they feel about being a slave. You won't care because you'll know that they are there by choice. That helps you remove your feelings from calling slaves a slave. You'll help remove your feelings from it. Thank you, Hyphy. You guys really should jump over there and talk on. I mean it'd be enough. It's not a lot of chitter chatter. It's like we don't do like unnecessary just talking over there, right? But if you legitimately go over there and join the Discord server and ask a legitimate question, we will respond. SMD family members will respond to you. It's not just me. Sometimes I'll get people an email and ask me a certain question outside of personal finances. I just pointed to the Discord server where there's other SMD family members there that can answer those questions. And I'm dead serious, man. If you want to get out, man, of course, I can save you a lot of time and trouble by giving you the blueprint. But if you can get out of debt using my videos, that's great too, because that's what I did with Dave Ramsey. I just use his videos. You know what? And let me tell you something what I did. So a lot of people don't really understand that, right? And this is another thing I love about the Dave Ramsey show, right? When you're in debt, trapped in your own little world, everybody around you is in debt. You just think it's really isolated to a race, right? You think it's isolated if you got a college degree or if you don't. Go to Dave Ramsey, listen to his videos. Those are people from all walks of life, from regular workers to doctors to business owners. To it's to show you that it doesn't, none of that matters. It doesn't matter what a person does. It doesn't matter if they're married or single. It doesn't matter. That's all. Debt doesn't care. Debt is the colorblind slave master. It showed me that it wasn't just me. It just because I was college educated, that didn't mean anything. Just because I made six figures, that didn't mean anything. That's when I realized it really had nothing to do with if I'm black or I'm a male, if I'm between this age, if I was born in the Gen X area. It had nothing to do with any of that. That's all part of the program to keep slaves confused and in debt. Thank you, sir. You're right. It's colorblind slave master. Someone called the Dave Ramsey. I saw that $1 million worth of student loan debt. When I saw that video, when I heard that, I just felt I felt pain, really. $1 million worth of and you got to think about this so you guys can understand, especially the amount in student loan debt. Why do they let you take unlimited amounts of student loan debt out? Why do you think that is? Because they really want you to educate yourself? No, that's a red flag. You can take out as much money as you wish, and you always get leftover checks. Hey, here's the leftover amount. It's about $2,000 or $3,000. What do you think an 18-year-old kid's going to do? Really believe it's leftover money? They allow a person to get up to $1 million in student loan debt. 1 millions. 1 million. What does that tell you? That's how they make slaves. Student loan debt. If you can't bankrupt it, if you can't bankrupt something in debt, that's how they make you slave. That's why you're a slave. That's the purpose of that. You think they're going to get rid of student loan debt? That would free all the slaves. You guys would be free. There's not no. Shout out to James for the $10 super chat. Spot on. Once you get to zero debt and get some money saved, the whole world opens up to you. You start always thinking big once you're out of survival mode. I didn't believe it until I broke free. That's exactly what you just said, James. You can't make up those words. What you just said, slaves don't even know those words exist. If you walked up to a slave and said, "Hey man, all you got to do is get to zero," they would look at you like you're crazy. What do you mean get to zero? What are you talking about? Congratulations, James. Congratulations. Welcome to the other side, man. I don't know how long you've been over here, but welcome. Yep, 1 million in student loan debt. That's crazy. You're gonna die a slave. You got 1 million in student loan debt. Yeah, you're gonna die a slave. One time, one time I had this person call me. This person had 200, a quarter of a million, $250,000 in student loan debt, making $39,000 a year. You guys don't even understand how I feel inside, and it's not even my debt. Because once you're free and you hear somebody making 30 something thousand dollars with $250,000 in student loan debt, you know for a fact that they're going to die a slave. And this person was in their 40s, by the way, too. Now, it's different if you have that much debt and you're in your 20s. That's different. If you have $250,000 in debt and you are in your 40s and you're making 30 something thousand dollars a year, you're pretty much going to die a slave. Because if you got that much debt and student loan debt, you most definitely have other debt. Most definitely. If you're making like car payments and student loan payments at the same time, you are a slave. I'm going to say that one more time. If you're making student loan payments and car payments, you're a slave, because only a slave would do that. If every month your student loan payment is one of your bills that you pay every single month on top of other payments you're making, you're a slave. It cannot be faked. You're right, Mosman. You'll never be able to feel what true freedom feels like. You'll never feel what I'm trying to explain to you. So when I hear $1 million in student loan debt, man, it actually hurts me, man. It's like, damn. But you know what I say to myself? They did it to themselves. They didn't. The people giving you. Let me make sure this is clear so you guys understand something. The government giving you student loan money, it's not their fault that they give you money. All the terms are explained in the paperwork you're signing. Basically, I'm gonna just shorten it up so you guys don't have to read all that stuff. Basically, if you don't pay us back this money, you're gonna owe us for life. And we have the power to take your taxes, garnish your check. We have all the power to do everything if you don't pay us. So basically, you won't be able to work above the table. unless you pay us back. That's why they allow you to defer it 6 months, re-defer it again. You think deferment is helping you. No, it's not, because as soon as they did, like when they pause the payments and no payments due on whatever, you guys think you have more money at the end of the month. So you think it's a favor. No, it's not. That's not a favor. Because they know what you're going to do. They're going to put they pull the student loans off your credit report. On top of you now thinking you have more money, now your credit's improved because the student loans are removed. Your debt to income ratio is lower because those heavy ass student loans. Now you go out and finance more shit. They create they create the illusion of making you believe that you have more money, and you guys go out and have a frenzy. Now you're able to be approved for the house that you've always wanted because your student loans are not on your credit report. That's part of the plan. Now you're able to afford that car because the student loans being on your credit report was bringing the score down. All the derogatory payments that you were not paying on the student loan debt, they remove it. So now it reflects on your credit report as okay, whatever you have left. And now you're approved for other shit. So now you're rushing out and going to get that thing that you always wanted to get while the student loans off your credit report. But come September, they're going to be back on. They're not going anywhere. They own you. Oh, one day I'm gonna have one. I mean, they're coming out. Don't get me wrong. They're coming out with some cool looking electric cars now. Ford came out with one called the Mach E. I mean, I don't trust it because that's Ford's first electric car, but it's nice. I like the body style. I think it's cool looking. But Tesla, the only reason why I want Tesla because they know the game. They've been in the game for a while. Plus, if you pay cash, if I pay, well, when I pay cash for the car, I don't have to buy gas anymore. That's that's the one thing you guys don't really I it's it'll feel good that gas doesn't control me anymore, at least locally. Like gas will never control me anymore. If I'm going somewhere, I don't need gas. I'll no longer have to look at the gas prices at gas stations because it won't concern me. So you won't be in chat rooms so you don't be in chat rooms talking about the high prices of gas and going down. The shit goes up and down. People love just talking about it all the time. Oh man, it's high, it's low, it's high. It's like, man, have you noticed gas prices going? They all talk about the same old stupid shit. All that. They have the power to do everything, including your fraud. They put a judgment against you, especially when you do government fraud. You better believe you ain't bankrupting that. That's not happening. And guess what they have the power to do? To take all the stuff, social security checks, whatever money you get, blah, 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 they're gonna get it. What's the value of a thing? Whatever I wanted to believe. Exactly. If once you get out of debt, you don't care the blue book value of a car when you're buying one. Okay. That doesn't the blue book value of a car when you're buying does not concern you when you're not in debt because you're going to buy that car for half the price in cash from a slave. The blue book value of a car will only matter when you sell, never when you buy. That goes for everything. That goes for houses, real estate, that goes for land, that goes for everything. Man, that's smart. Plus, I'd get a generator for an emergency. When again, I was saying earlier, it bugs me when things don't make financial sense. You drive down the street, every gas station has a different price for the same fucking gas. That don't make sense to me. And every time I see that, I ask myself the same question: why is gas different? Here's across the street, it's this price, but over there it's this price. What does that mean? And then they say, they knock 10 cents off if you come in the store. Here's the cash price, here's the credit price. Wait a minute, wait a minute. You're trying to say if I come in the store, you've knocked 10. Now I got to stand in line behind the person that's buying 15,000 scratch tickets and lotto tickets. I don't feel like waiting behind slaves that long. I go ahead and spend the extra money. Now I got to wait behind somebody getting a Slurpee and 15,000 lotto tickets, and then they want to get them all checked. Oh, can you check this one? Can you check this? Oh man, hell no. Mm-mm. Once I get a Tesla, I don't have to worry about any of that. I can't even. I barely go into like those convenience stores, those 7-Eleven type Circle K's. I don't go in them joints, man. I might go. I might stop there and get gas at those places, but I don't go in those places, man. I'm not gonna be standing in line for that. Like when I get my gas from Costco all the time. I'll just go at almost closing time. I don't like waiting in lines. Anyway, we're gonna wrap this up, man. I'm getting hungry. So you guys have a wonderful day. I hope you guys enjoyed this Q&A Sunday. Much appreciated. Until next time, leave some comments. SavingsMinusDebt.com. You want a consultation? There you go. Thank you, everyone, for the Cash App donations. Thank you. Thank you. That's for the people that donate when they after they watch my videos or something, man. That's just, hey, man, hands down. That blows me away every time that happens. That's amazing. So, question: so is gas free when you buy a Tesla and gas in cash? Yes, that's when gas is free. No, I mean that's when you're not using gas. I mean that gas is free. But once you buy a Tesla in cash, that's when you're taking advantage of not using gas. That's when you're no longer paying for gas. Because people that finance Teslas are not getting, they're not saving money by not using gas because they're financing the Tesla. They're not doing anything. They just think they are because they're driving by a gas station and think they're saving money on gas. They're just not. They're not really. You go buy a Tesla in cash, now you're saving money on gas because you don't have to use it. They don't own you. Nor does the bank own you, right? Because if say like this, say like you had a paid off car. Right now, I have a paid off truck. Right now, the gas stations own me because I need gas to. I mean, they don't own me, but I need them. Let me not say own. I need them in order to drive my truck. Once I buy a Tesla in cash, I won't need gas stations anymore. I don't need them anymore. So they can jump their gas prices up and down. The gas station can increase their prices, and the other one can make them lower. And this one down the street in the next town, I don't care because I don't need gas. So they can do whatever they want because I know those gas. Put it this way: once I buy my Tesla in cash, I won't even be paying attention to the prices of gasoline anymore. Have you noticed that? Like when you drive a regular car, you naturally look at the gas station's prices of gas without consciously knowing it. You just look, you're like, oh, okay, whatever. When you have a paid off Tesla, you won't pay attention to those signs anymore. They won't be talking to you. That's my goal. Because right now, those signs say, hey, look, you need me, and this is what you're gonna be paying because you need what I have. And they're right. I have to go. Like when you go to a Costco gas station and you're waiting in line, the reason why you're waiting in line because you have to. It doesn't matter that it's the Costco line. It could be any gas station line. If you're waiting in line, it's because you have to. You need their gas. You got a paid off Tesla. You won't have to wait in any gas line anymore. No, there's always ways around everything. Don't ever think just because you see it, that's just the way it is. There's always a way around it. Always. You always need something with a Tesla. You'll need the charging station. Yeah. Oh yeah, but the price comparison, don't get me wrong, yeah, I will need it counts on how you drive if you're gonna need a charging station. That's number one. It counts on how you drive it, right? But of course, it's gonna be. I'm gonna need that, but it's gonna be way less than gasoline. Way less than gasoline. Way less maintenance. Look at how many moving parts, how many less of moving parts there are. It's just so many benefits to getting a fast electric car. It's just, man, it's unbelievable. Just have to. I just have to. Now that they make them look good, I want one because they make them look stylish now. Before, the electric cars, they were just ugly. Like the Toyota Prius, that's like, nah, I'm cool with that car. Yeah, I know it don't use any gas, but it's ugly. And I'm not like you said, I'm not. I do like. I can't help it. I like a nice looking vehicle. Yeah, but that's also I'm also a realist too. That's unrealistic to think I'm gonna get away with not driving a vehicle, and that also counts on where you live. That really counts on where you live. You can live in some cities where you don't need a car, okay? But then I live in an area where you need a car. Like I always tell people when they do implement driving per mile or whatever, they're just what they're doing is this. This is why you're starting to see the driving per mile thing happen because I want you guys to see it happening. The electric cars are coming onto the market. Pretty soon, the majority they're getting cheaper and cheaper, and pretty soon the majority are going to be financing electric cars. They're getting ahead of the game because when it happens, they know people are going to use less and less gasoline. They're going to have to figure out how to charge people because they're not using gas. They're just getting ahead of the game. That's why it's happening now. They're proposing something, they throw it out there, see how you guys respond, bring it back, tweak it. Then they throw it out there again, and then you got like, oh, this, and that. They tweak it. They're just tweaking and tweaking until they get it right, and then it's going to be in. There's going to be in a law. I mean, when I look at Tesla and see how fast it is, I don't really care how fast it is off the jump and all that shit. I'm not gonna be racing it. I just want to, okay, whatever. I don't need gas. Cool, man. Anyway, let me get out of here, man. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful evening. All right, see you later.